Hi, welcome back to Living on Slow Time. If you're new here, my name is Kathy and I cook in my camper kitchen. I'm here to show you that you can do anything in your camper kitchen that you can do in your regular home kitchen as well, or any small kitchen at that. So today we're going to be making chili. We're getting the crock pot back out again. It's the perfect tool to use in your kitchen during the fall and the winter time. You take and you put a few ingredients in there before you go to work. When you come home, the house smells fantastic and dinner's ready for you and you have nothing else to worry about. So let's get started. I've chopped up a half of an onion here and we're fixing to go over here to the stove. Okay, now over here at the stove, we've got our pan. We're heating this up. We're going to put in 1 pound of ground beef, and you can use whatever kind you want. I've got this turned on a nice high heat right now. You can use whatever kind you want. I've got a 93% lean here. And then we're also going to put in here a thing of breakfast sausage. Now, my normal chili that I make does not have breakfast sausage in it. This all started when Frank decided he wanted to be in a chili cook-off. So the KOA that we were at over the summer, let's see, get us a spatula here. The KOA that we were at over the summer, turn this heat down a little, had a chili cook-off this fall, and he decided he wanted to make chili. So we did some research together, and he did some recipe testing together. And this is the chili that he came up with to make for his chili cook-off. And it includes breakfast sausage and ground beef. And it works. I had my doubts. I was a little unsure. We actually tested Italian sausage as well as the breakfast sausage. And the breakfast sausage actually won out. The Italian sausage just had a little too much of a certain flavor that we couldn't put our finger on, maybe a sweetness or something. But the breakfast sausage had just the right bite to it that it just really enhanced the flavor of this chili. So we are just going to brown up our beef and our pork sausage together here. We're going to let that start cooking down, and then we're going to add in our onions here in just a few minutes. All right, now that this beef is starting to get browned up, you can see we're starting to get some color there on the sausage and the beef. We're going to go ahead and we're going to add in our onions to let those go ahead and start softening up. And we're just going to cook this together for a little bit longer. No seasonings are needed at this point right now, as we're going to add all of our seasonings here in a little bit. Whoops, man overboard. Whenever we put it all into the crock pot, we'll add all of our seasonings in. So we're just going to let this cook until those onions get nice and soft. Okay, so these are starting to soften up nicely. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to turn off this heat and we're going to come over to the crock pot. Okay, so now that we've got our meat all cooked up here, we are going to just dump this off into our crock pot. Well, we've got our meat, our breakfast sausage, our ground beef, and our onions are all cooked off here. And I'm just raising this up and letting that grease just stay right there in that pan. Now, if you want to, you can run a paper towel around down there in the bottom of the pan. That'll help soak that grease up, or if you've got a favorite way that you like to get the grease off of your meat, you can. But this way, this is just kind of getting that meat right out of there along with those onions. And that leaves my grease right here in the pan that's left, which there's not a lot because we did use a lean beef and that breakfast sausage really didn't put off much at all. So we'll just set this back here. Well, I guess there was a little grease on the bottom. All right, so we've got our meat in here. So now we're going to add our seasonings in. Now we're going to use about, grab this over here. We're going to use what would really be an equivalent to 1 package of your chili seasoning. I'm going to use about 2 tablespoons down in here. This is my homemade chili seasoning. I'll put a link down, well, not a link down below, but I'll put the recipe down below for you for the chili seasoning. It's really a lot of the same seasonings you'll find in the taco and the fajita seasonings as well. But we're just going to go ahead and give that a nice stir just to go ahead and get that all on that meat. Now, if it looks like you don't have enough for it, you can add some more, which I think I'm going to add to that because that really didn't cook down as much as what I thought it would. So that I think that needs just a smidge more of seasoning. That's the good thing about making things at home. You can add as much or as little as you want. So maybe more closer to about 3 tablespoons of seasoning in there for those. It's really 2 pounds of meat that's in here. So that looks much better. So we've got that, looks very nice right there now. And it's as easy as this. It's going to be dump and go. We've got a can of kidney beans. I like the light red kidney beans. You can use dark, you can use light, doesn't matter. And then I've got a can of the black beans. Now I had about 3/4 of a can left from where I'd made some burritos the other night. So I'm using just about 3/4 of a can there, using up those leftovers. We're going to put those right down inside. I did rinse and drain those. We've got a can of tomato sauce here. And we're just going to get that in here. And we've got a can of diced tomatoes. Now, I like the petite dice, and that's just my preference there. Just because it's smaller pieces. If you like the bigger chunks, no problem. Make it the way you want to. We're going to give this a little stir just to get everything mixed up together. This is a nice, thick, hearty chili. It is not one of those thin, little, weak-looking chilies that you see sometimes. This is nice and meaty. And to add our additional flavor, we're going to use some beef broth. Now, you'll see most of my stuff says unsalted. That's because I like to be in control. It's raining again. It's rained for the last 2 days, and today it finally was a beautiful day, and now it's raining. Anyway, I digress. That was a squirrel moment. We're going to add some beef broth in here. Now, I will tell you that when Frank made this for the chili cook-off, he did put the spicy beef broth. Swanson actually makes a spicy beef broth now, and it is delicious in this chili. But this chili is going to go to a potluck that we're going to, and I just didn't want to make it spicy because I want everybody to be able to eat it. So I'm just using a plain beef broth here. I'm only putting in about half of a container here of that, so that would be about 16 ounces. Or if you buy them in a can, it would really be about a can's worth. And then we're just going to give this a stir. And then we're going to put our lid on. And then we're just going to turn this on here on high, and I'm going to let it cook. It's about 2:30 in the afternoon right now for me. We don't need to be anywhere until about 6 o'clock tonight, so on high will be perfect for this. If you don't have a crock pot or don't want to fix it in the crock pot, fix everything in one pot on the stove. It's a one-pot meal that way. Brown them meats up right inside that pot, add all of your other ingredients, let it simmer for about 20 or 30 minutes on about a medium-low heat, and it will be spectacular. But me, I'm using the crock pot because I got to go back to work. See y'all in a bit. All right, let's take this lid off of here and take a look at what we've got. Oh, look at that delicious chili in there. This right here is Frank's award-winning chili. All right, let's get us a taste of this dipped up here. We're taking this over to a potluck, so we don't want to eat too much of it. It's going to keep it nice and hot, but I do like to taste it before I take it and feed it to a crowd. So let's go ahead and check this out. It's going to be super hot, but let me just show you Frank's award he got. This is for second place in the chili cook-off there at the KOA. It was a tight race. He came in second only by 1 or 2 points. I'm very proud of him because he really doesn't cook much, but he came up with a very good chili. All right, so I'm just going to give a quick little taste here. Hopefully I don't burn my mouth too bad. Perfect flavors. Warm, cozy, fantastic for the rainy days that we've been having, for the cool fall nights. If you like this video, please give us a like, give us a subscribe. Come back and join us next time. We love having you here and do truly appreciate your time that you are given to us. Until next time, bye y'all.